I quit smoking while I was working full-time in an office where everybody smoked, and my ex-wife was also smoking in the house all the time. Nothing triggered me. The environment was hostile. It didn't change, but I did from within. And there was no drive for me to quit any addiction. No motivation, no health reasons, none of that stuff. It was solely driven by curiosity. Do I want it? Can I quit it? And what happens after I quit? This is the first video of 3 video series. In this video, we're going to be talking about the one tool that led me from lost in addiction loops and quitting impulsively to strategically quit every bad habit and apply it effectively. You will have the efficient knowledge that you need to apply this tool in your personal life. And without further ado, let's get right into it. For the most of my life, and especially in adulthood, I was addicted to sugary beverages, gaming, porn, daily coffee, smoking, binge eating, you name it. And whenever I'm trying to install a new habit in my life, say going to the gym, for example, I always get jeopardized. I either impulsively eat one day or smoke way too much to be able to get a good workout or any of that. Because in my mind, they weren't bad habits at all. They were just me. It was just my life. I am just living simply, just like everybody else. Or so I thought. And during my quitting journey, I noticed something. The bad habits are not naturally bad in their nature. It's just they are reactions to what happened in your life before. For example, when we're talking about smoking, it usually comes from a place of vulnerability, loneliness, anxiety, and the cigarette here functions as an anesthesia to tell you that you are in control and everything is okay, while your body wants to quit, even since year one. That's what happened with me, at least. But in the last year, in the beginning of 2025, I started to do introspection with ChatGPT. I was doing like simple journaling, like typing it on Google Keep, but that didn't last long, and I just went on my life normally. But in ChatGPT, you can mirror your thoughts with it, right? And so I started this mirroring process, and I got hooked on it because naturally you are curious about yourself. You want to learn more. You want to understand more. And I happened to talk about smoking in particular, since I wanted to quit it since I started smoking, actually. I was freestyling it, basically, asking questions randomly, but I was very specific about what I am asking about. Everything around smoking at the beginning. Then I quit smoking in April 2025. And with the same introspection method, I also noticed that my body wants movement. So I went to the park in May and went for a run for the first time in years. And I was 120 kilograms back then. And then with the same introspection tool, I quit binge eating. I have a controlled refrigerator. I have no sugar at all in my house, which led me to lose 20 kilograms. And also, I recently quit coffee. It's been like 10 days or so now. And also, I'm in this fight with porn right now. It went from 2 to 3 times, sometimes daily, to contained within 1 hour at the weekend after every work is done. Huge difference from impulsivity to controlled and maintained. And all that happened within just 1 year. I didn't even finish a year yet. And this tool that I didn't know its name before, called shadow work. Let's put it this way. The shadow is what you deny about yourself. What you say that this is the opposite of you. If we imagine that the shadow lives in the basement, then the shadow work is turning lights on. And naturally, you wouldn't like everything you see. And that's kind of the beauty of shadow work. It shows you even the ugly part that you hate to admit. But you will need radical honesty and the open-mindedness to accept what you see, to accept yourself as you are. And the more and the deeper the questions you answer, the better you understand yourself, your past, your present, and your surroundings. Everything starts to make sense. Because in the unconscious life, where we are just freestyling and living normally, you wouldn't be considering going back to the past, for example, for answers. But once you see it as a whole picture, then changing becomes simple. Not easy, but simple. Let me give you a personal story that actually led to the change that I am in today. When I am doing shadow work, I was basically asking very hard questions about why I smoked in the first place. I wasn't a smoker when I was a kid, not in school, not in college, but I did it like in my adult life later on. How did that become? Why am I smoking at all? And I went to the past. And it simply goes like this. Why am I smoking right now? It's a relief. Relief from what? I am working, I'm doing something. Why do I hate work? Well, because I was forced to work before when it was back in the past, where my father, for example, wanted me to work in his shop instead of me finding my own way, when he was belittling everything I used to do, like studying, for example, to get into software engineering. In his opinion, the money exists, so no need to go and chase novelty. It's just a contributing factor. When I willingly smoked was when I had a moment like I was fighting with my father, and I felt very vulnerable, weak, and basically defeated. And with cigarettes, I found company in my smoker friends who were accepting, who were non-judgmental, and willing to walk the walk with me. And I kept smoking after they're gone, because I felt like cigarettes are now walking the walk with me. Like I traveled from one country to another, and when you go to another country and you live on your own for so long, you start to get very lonely. And that's where cigarettes did serve me. But that was 10 years ago. It's not serving me right now at all. But I couldn't have realized that without the shadow work that I have done. And when I'm talking about shadow work, I'm talking sometimes for hours, a few days in a row, hours after hours after hours, just talking back and forth. And then I found myself taking the first step of quitting smoking, then going for a run, then quitting beverages, sugary stuff, porn, and quitting my marriage even. Also during cravings, it helps a lot, by the way. See, I remember whenever you get a craving, you can also interrogate the craving itself. Why am I feeling it? Why does it feel like this? I remember this feeling from a moment before in my life. I'm not sure if this is the right feeling or not. You can interrogate it back and forth, and you find truth in it as well. I remember in one craving, I was like, it hit me so intensely. It was like in the first week or so. It hit me so intensely. It kind of said to me, I kind of said to myself, like unconsciously, I said, just smoke one, who cares? And at that time, I had friends surrounding me, and the marriage wasn't that broken. So I wasn't that lonely. So when I'm saying who cares, what am I actually saying? Well, unconsciously, I was referring to the moment that I talked about, like when I was against my father, where I felt weak and vulnerable. And the same thing when I'm interrogating my laziness, when I don't want to do the work necessary to be done, I also interrogate the same way. And why it matters if it is just the truth about what happened. Don't I remember what happened? Well, yes, we all have memories. But like I said before, bad habits are a reflection of what happened in the past. They are trying to say something. And when your body is trying to say something, it's not in peace. So getting rid of the bad habit serves you long term to get the inner peace that you are looking for. When you have noise, when you have nicotine, when you have caffeine fucking up with your brain and your nervous system, you won't be able to think straight, and you will make mistakes over and over again, and you will stay in the same loop, and your life will keep circling, and you will end up saying, why this is my luck? Why am I the victim? Why am I the problem? Guilt and shame are hard to defeat when you are feeding them daily. That's why shadow work requires open-mindedness. Accepting the ugly truth that appears is what will get you forward. Not mourning the past, but accepting it, learning from it, and moving on. And shadow work gives you this power. It shows you the problem. And once you figure out what the problem is, you've already solved half of it. You can take action accordingly. You can start to get in motion. But at the same time, I want you to realize as well that vision without action is just a daydream. And so when you get all this information, yes, you will need the open-mindedness, like we said, but at the same time, motion here is required. Taking action in that direction is required. And here's the important part, that when it comes to action, you see all these frameworks and mindsets and kind of methods and tricks to do things, right? But how do you pick up the thing that works for you best? Well, in the next video, I'm going to be talking about the execution patterns that people rely on in their lives, and how to recognize yours and how to apply them so you make the best out of your life. I hope you find this video helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe. Take care.